Hello students, welcome to Learning with Joy. I hope you're having a great day. Today's video is about the lesson The Black Aeroplane by Frederick Fawcett. Many times there are stories which are mysterious. The ending is not fully explained. Sometimes this mystery borders around being a miracle. Now it depends in which way you look at it. Let's begin this story and you decide whether you feel this is a mystery or if there was a miracle involved. Let me tell you about the author. Frederick McCarthy Fawcett, CBE, was born on 25th August 1938. He is presently 82 years old. Now look at the CBE that follows his name. He was appointed a commander of the Order of the British Empire in the 1997 New Year Honours List for services to literature. That is an equivalent of the Padma Shri that we have here, and he was awarded this medal. Well, he is an English author, journalist, former spy that would explain the mystery stories that he writes, and occasional political commentator. He is best known for thrillers such as The Day of the Jackal, The Odessa File, The Fourth Protocol, and many more. Fawcett's works frequently appear on bestsellers lists, and more than a dozen of his titles have been adapted to film. By 2006, he had sold more than 70 million books in more than 30 languages. In fact, The Fourth Protocol, besides being made into a movie, was also made into a video game. Another little bit of trivia. In September 2005, Fawcett appeared along with another celebrity on the game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and raised £250,000 for charity. He offered the answer for the £500,000 million question, but despite being correct, he decided to take £250,000, and of course, all the proceeds of this win went to charity. Let's begin with the story. The moon was coming up in the east behind me, and stars were shining in the clear sky above me. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. I was happy to be alone high up above the sleeping countryside. Now, these few lines tell us that this story is narrated in the first person. The narrator is the author, and in the story, he is a pilot. The pilot or the narrator is flying in a clear sky, and he loves to fly high up above the sleeping countryside. Let's continue. I was flying my old Dakota aeroplane over France back to England. I was dreaming of my holiday and looking forward to being with my family. I looked at my watch, 1:30 in the morning. Now, if you see, there is the word here, Dakota aeroplane. And if you look at the picture on the right side of the screen, you'll see that the Dakota is a military transport aircraft. A few years ago, many of these were in commission, but now there are only a very few that are operational. So the narrator is flying and he's going back to his family. He's looking forward to being and spending time with his family. I should call Paris Control soon, I thought. As I looked down past the nose of the aeroplane, I saw the lights of a big city in front of me. I switched on the radio and said, Paris Control, Dakota DS-088 here. Can you hear me? I'm on my way to England. Over. Now, this is regular protocol that is followed by all pilots as they pass over any city, any airport. Before coming there, they will always sign in on their radio. The voice from the radio answered me immediately. DS 088, I can hear you. You ought to turn 12 degrees west now. DS 088, over. I checked the map and the compass, switched over to my second and last fuel tank, and turned the Dakota 12 degrees west towards England. So, whatever the air traffic controller had told him, this is what the pilot did, and he's on his way now home. I'll be in time for breakfast, I thought. A good big English breakfast. Everything was going well. It was an easy flight. So he's enjoying flying now, and the thought of being home for breakfast has put him in a good mood. Paris was about 150 kilometers behind me when I saw the clouds, storm clouds. They were huge. They looked like black mountains standing in front of me across the sky. I knew I could not fly up and over them, and I did not have enough fuel to fly around them, to the north or south. I ought to go back to Paris, I thought, but I wanted to get home. I wanted that breakfast. So when he is suddenly faced with these clouds, the dark storm clouds, he can do one of these things. One is that he can go around them, but he did not have enough fuel. Then he could go back to Paris, but he wanted to go home. And of course, the other thing was he had to go through it. I'll take the risk, I thought, and flew that old Dakota straight into the storm. Inside the clouds, everything was suddenly black. It was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. The old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. I looked at the compass. I could not believe my eyes. The compass was turning round and round and round. It was dead. It would not work. The other instruments were suddenly dead too. I tried the radio. Paris control, can you hear me? There was no answer. The radio was dead too. I had no radio, no compass, and I could not see where I was. I was lost in the storm. So here he is lost in the storm. He is right in the middle of those big dark clouds, and all the controls that he had in the plane are now not working. Then, in the black clouds quite near me, I saw another aeroplane. It had no lights on its wings, but I could see it flying next to me through the storm. I could see the pilot's face turned towards me. I was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. "Follow me," he was saying. "Follow me." He knows that I am lost, I thought. He is trying to help me. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north in front of my Dakota so that it would be easier for me to follow him. I was very happy to go behind the strange aeroplane like an obedient child. There is a proverb that goes like this, that a drowning man will cling to even a straw. So here, when the narrator is lost, is feeling afraid of how is he going to get out of this storm, suddenly when he sees this other plane, he realizes it's a strange occurrence, but he has no choice, and blindly, with full faith, like an obedient child, he goes behind the strange aeroplane. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of me in the clouds. Now, there was only enough fuel in the old Dakota's last tank to fly for 5 or 10 minutes more. I was starting to feel frightened again. But then he started to go down and I followed through the storm. Suddenly, I came out of the clouds and saw two long straight lines of lights in front of me. It was a runway, an airport. I was safe. I turned to look for my friend in the black aeroplane, but the sky was empty. There was nothing there. The black aeroplane was gone. I could not see it anywhere. I landed and was not sorry to walk away from the old Dakota near the control tower. Now, he was not sorry for various reasons, the main being that he had a very scary experience and he wanted to reach the safety of the control tower as soon as possible. Another reason he wanted to go to the tower was to ask where's the other aeroplane and also to thank the other pilot. I went and asked a woman in the control center where I was and who the other pilot was. I wanted to say thank you. She looked at me very strangely and then laughed. Another aeroplane? Up there in this storm? No other aeroplanes were flying tonight. Yours was the only one I could see on the radar. So who helped me to arrive there safely, without a compass or a radio or without any more fuel in my tanks? Who was the pilot on the strange black aeroplane, flying in the storm without lights? A radar is a detection system that uses radio waves to detect aircraft, and it looks something like this. So now, children, have you decided whether this story is a mystery or was there a miracle involved? Yes, it's a mystery because we do not have answers to the questions that the author leaves us with. Who was the pilot? Where did the black aeroplane go? If you look at it in another way, then maybe it was his faith. Maybe an angel led him to safety. If you want to look at it in yet another way, then maybe he was hallucinating. It may have been all in his imagination. That would explain why the woman at the control center laughed when he inquired about the other plane. Or it could be that since he was an experienced pilot, he himself took over and found a way out of the storm. For those of you who like ghost stories, you may like to think it was a phantom plane. We could really not know. The author has left that to our imagination. I hope you understood this story. Thank you for learning with joy. Be joyful, stay blessed.